last week on Gleeboot, it was Stevie Wonder week, according to writer Lynn. Kurtz found out his dad didn't have cancer and proceeded to monopolize the choir room of a school he no longer goes to sing to his dad, and Cullen is still not over it. And Rachel got her call back, and Cassandra July was suddenly revealed to be like a good person. I'm not buying it. And that's what you missed on Gleeboot.
That was when we got the iconic line, #GleeHatesGirls. That was clearly written in by Ryan Murphy while he was editing the script. Other than that, I don't remember anything.
I vote that as my favorite line of this series.
Gleeboot.
Glee is done with the filler. It's time to bring in the plot. Send in the clowns, as the late Stephen Sondheim would say.
Oh, yeah. R.I.P.
So, all right. What are we drinking today?
I'm drinking water.
Staying hydrated. I also have some water, but I also have wine in this new glass I got. It's plastic. I thought it was going to be glass, but it's okay. I got it from Untitled subscription box that gives you lots of stuff for $40 a season. They're not sponsored, so I'm not going to say their name, even though they are kind of amazing. But it's called Translations. The wine. Yeah, not the subscription. It's a Shiraz. And I just noticed the label has like all these little speech bubbles that say like, nice to meet you. Hello, what's up? Good luck. And then on the other side, it has like, looks like the Spanish versions of those things. Yeah.
It's a bilingual wine.
Yeah, it is bilingual wine. Vino.
I mean, if you're gonna get wine, you want it to be bilingual.
Absolutely.
Juan come manzanas. I'm doing Duolingo.
I love that.
Yo soy
Juan
manzana.
You're an apple?
Yes.
I love
right.
it. I mean, the first one definitely made sense. The second one makes more sense. If we had to sign each other fruits, I think apple would be the first one I pick for you.
Because I'm basic.
I don't know. There's some really good apples.
I'm curious. Now, what is my fruit, Hannah?
Oh, a pineapple. I honestly hadn't thought at all. I think a pineapple is good.
It's pokey on the outside, but sweet once you get to the inside.
Wow.
And also a little sour when you get to the inside too, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Slightly acidic will burn your tongue if you eat too much.
Yes. That's Alyssa in a nutshell. Or should I say a pineapple rind? I don't know. What do you guys think about me?
I was going to say watermelon.
Oh, okay. It's a watermelon. It's not a watermelon. Love Vine. R.I.P. Vine. R.I.P. Stephen Sondheim. Okay.
R.I.P. Glee on Netflix.
Oh my God. Yeah. So you guys are hearing this, probably like a week after or more than a week after Netflix dropped Glee because Disney is reining in all of its Fox properties.
Correct.
Except some people internationally can still see it on Netflix. We were told in the Instagram comments, and I was like, wow, okay, flex. But also good for you. You don't have to like pay extra to watch it. That's super convenient.
I'm just waiting, like, what year is it going to pop up on Disney Plus? Like, when are they going to do that?
Well, so I actually briefly scanned an article that I don't remember where it was from, who wrote it, or what it was really about. I want to say it was like talking about Glee leaving Netflix. And they were like, it might be a little too quote unquote mature for Disney Plus. So they may put it on
Hulu.
Yeah. Someone was saying that it might go to Hulu because Disney and Hulu are actually kind of in cahoots. A couple of their other properties that I guess don't technically fit on Disney Plus are actually on Hulu. So maybe it'll be on Hulu in a couple months. So if that happens, phew, But I'm not willing to go episode by episode and pay for it. We might as well just get the whole season and just not have to worry about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That would probably be cheaper.
You heard it here first, folks. Other than Mike's, we are now investing in this podcast to bring you content.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Alyssa is thrilled
grateful.
about this development.
Be very grateful.
Yeah. Because I have so many problems with this episode that I can only imagine it's going to get worse and somehow crazier and also more boring based on where this season finale left off. But anyway, Cullen, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a screwdriver.
Oh, I think you had one of those last week too, right?
Yeah, because I have vodka and orange juice in my house.
Might as well. Nothing wrong with that. Suki, what are you drinking? Listeners, she's in between Cullen and Alyssa, just sitting perfectly perched right in the middle of them.
Yes, she is taking advantage of my craft table right now.
Mm-hmm.
She is drinking the joy from the room.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it makes sense. Because she looks so joyful.
Yeah. So I will tell you, Hannah, what you have to look forward to in maybe this season, maybe next season, is a plot line about people being trapped in an elevator.
What?
So relatable. Have been there a couple times.
With an evil robot.
So relatable. Have been there a couple times.
Is that evil robot attacking Hannah right now? She froze.
Hannah's frozen.
She's still frozen. She's in Arendelle. Okay, can you guys see me? No.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, we can now.
I'm just gonna do the podcast like this. This is not gonna ruin the audio at all, but at least you guys will know that I am still connected. I'm kidding. I'm definitely not gonna do that. If I go, I don't know. My mom's internet's been really crazy again. Yeah. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, elevators, trapped. That's gonna be a plot. Very exciting.
So, All or Nothing, season 4 finale.
So, just gonna say up front, I had expectations about this episode. Now, they were very low expectations. However, I did have them. The title, All or Nothing, is also the title of a song by the not super popular boy band from the early 2000s, O-Town. I don't know if that name rings a bell for either of you.
I remember O-Town, yeah.
Oh yeah, O-Town. So they had a song, and it was actually a hit single, All or Nothing. And I was like, oh, they're gonna sing that song. They didn't. So I was pretty let down by that.
I felt vindicated.
Oh.
As one of my predictions came true. So
we'll have to talk about when we get there.
Yep.
And I don't know if I enjoyed this episode. I didn't hate all of it, but to say I enjoyed it is kind of a stretch.
I think overall, as a season finale in general, not great. And also as a season finale for the show, not great. As I briefly read the Wikipedia article for this episode, and around the critical response or whatever, basically like there was like talk about how Ryan Murphy was like so happy to be leaving the episode of the season on so many cliffhangers. And I was like, I don't know how you define cliffhanger, because I'm not hanging on for any of these storylines, except I have to because I'm doing a podcast.
I fell off that cliff and I just plummeted.
I wouldn't call them cliffhangers. I would say it's like you're on steps, like you're at the top of a step, but what's below you is just like the ground floor and you're like a foot and a half over it. Like it's a tiny little step into like that anxiety of like what's going to happen, because it's really just like, I don't know. Are any of these things exciting? I don't know.
Will Ryder Lynn be in the Glee Club?
Do I care about him? I barely even knew his last name.
Honestly, I didn't even realize that any of these things were supposed to be cliffhangers. Like,
Also, we're stopping in the middle, which I have
Yeah, we're
thoughts
stopping
on.
in the middle of the school year, which is only going to make timeline stuff more confusing.
Because also, this is like March, probably. And you're usually done in May or June, depending on where. But like usually in Ohio, we were done in like the end of May. So
this
like
isn't a shorter season, is it?
no, next season is, but not by much. It's what, like 18 episodes?
I think it's 20.
Weird.
Yeah, so it's less by 2.
So they just made some really strange timeline choices.
We're going to go into next summer with them. And all I'm going to say is that they cannot High School Musical 2 this because High School Musical 2 already did it.
You can say it. That means nothing, though.
That's true, because it would have technically already happened.
Yeah.
Because I cannot control what this series does.
You have no control over the space-time continuum. And
I can't wait to hear Ryder's pool party cover of Summer of '69.
Oh no. I hate that. I hate
because
that
you
idea.
know it would happen.
It so would. I'm so mad. Anyway.
Yeah, can't wait for next Christmas episode. That storyline is only going to be so fun. Okay, Waffle Toots. We made it into season 4, guys, which honestly wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, but that doesn't mean it was good.
I don't remember what my expectations were for season 4, and then like season 4 just like happened to me, and I don't know.
I feel about the same way.
It just happened to me, like personally. I feel attacked.
Yeah, so we got some storylines. Brittany, Ryder, Rachel, Emma.
Question.
Blaine.
Emma had a storyline?
Yeah, that's why there's a question mark. Maybe we should say Wemma, because it was quoted in this episode.
I literally have thought this entire time that I made Wemma up.
I'm having some problems remembering because I watched it last week. And I watched it sandwiched around last week's episode. So it's going to come back in weird chunks.
I actually watched like the first like 10-15 minutes being like, this is what Alyssa watched first before watching last week's episode. I was like trying to imagine that headspace. Very confusing.
Yep.
Yeah. So this entire time, I thought Wemma was too dumb to be a real ship name. I thought it was something I made up. No,
it exists in the real world of Glee.
Yeah. So Brittany's at MIT, and
yeah, she is. She's in this like, it looks like the exact same room where Elle Woods's application is being reviewed in Legally Blonde, when all those like 10 dudes are sitting around watching her in a bikini talk about how good she is at legal stuff. Yeah, that's the kind of room it is. It's kind of like dark, and there's like wood walls.
Academically male focused.
Yeah.
That's the aesthetic.
Yes, that's a great way to put it. And then Brittany's just there at the other side of this desk while these two old men, well, I guess the one's not old, the other one definitely is, are like talking to her in like, they're just so shocked by what's happening because, Cullen, what are they talking to her about?
So they're talking about, we couldn't believe, we thought your scores were a fluke. You have like a 0.02 GPA or something.
Which is like mathematically impossible.
But you did a terrible job at this test. But on the other side, you wrote down all these numbers. What are they? And she's like, I just had all these numbers swirling down in my head. And I wrote them down. She broke the Scantron because she insisted on using crayon. And they're like, this counted this way, their avocado's number or code counted this way, they're this.
It's like a perfect calculation of all these important mathematical concepts and numbers on this like crazy person scribbling on the back of Brittany's test.
It is the prophecies of Nostradamus.
Yes, exactly. Putting nonsense into this nonsense. Getting nonsense out of the nonsense. It's
getting order out of nonsense.
And Brittany is just sitting nonsense. There. She's just like, cool. Yeah. Awesome. Totally.
Yeah, like the Brittany code. This is the greatest mathematical breakthrough of the 21st century. And she's like, awesome. I thought you were going to come here and tell me I was stupid, which is bullying, and I will not allow that.
And then we get the Glee title card, but under it says by Brittany written in crayon.
So there's this expectation that it's going to be a really Brittany-centric episode.
Like it's going to be from her perspective. And it's not, unless it is, and we just haven't found it out yet.
It is not.
That would be,
So back at the choir room, we find out that Our Lady of Perpetual Catholic Joke, they've made this joke multiple times on the series.
Yes.
Can't
get there because of a sexting scandal where they got excommunicated by the Pope.
Which makes no sense at all. You don't get excommunicated for shit like that.
Yeah. Cardinals sext all the time.
I have nothing to say to that as a non-Catholic.
You got excommunicated for being the Holy Roman Emperor and not wanting to like tithe correctly or something. Or for being Henry VIII and wanting to divorce your wife.
Is that actually been, what's the most recent excommunication? I can't even, it's like a big deal when somebody gets excommunicated.
Yeah.
And this isn't that big a deal.
No high school is just going to get randomly
excommunicated. Doesn't work that way.
Though the Pope did randomly invalidate my baptism, but that is a different story.
Oh, yes, I remember this story. It is bullshit.
The Waffle Toots are here now.
So I hate the name. Also, my Apple autocorrect changed it to Waffle Tots, and now I'm like, yes, please.
Yeah, it does sound good.
But they're actually, it's a spin on the Whiffin Puffs, I think is what they're called. They're like a prestigious a cappella group from Yale. They were on the Sing-Off when the Sing-Off was a thing.
I think there's a 30 Rock joke about them.
Really?
Yes, because the black guy, what do they call him as a nickname that's pretty
Twofer.
offensive? Yes, the twofer. I'm pretty sure he's the one who probably mentions it because I'm pretty sure went to Yale.
Either him or Alec Baldwin's character.
Oh yeah, or it could be Alec Baldwin, yeah. So, anywho.
So the Waffle Toots, aka extra fancy warblers, are there.
Yeah. And they have zero sex appeal as far as I'm concerned.
Are the warblers gone forever? Like, why are they white?
Do you really want the answer to that?
I think the problem is...
Because I could give you the simple answer and that should suffice, but I don't know if you want to know the simple answer.
Why did they replace the warblers when they have the warblers?
Because the warblers
they cheated. Well, yeah, they cheated and they got excommunicated.
Okay.
From show choir.
No, just kidding. They actually just got kicked out. I don't think there was anything about excommunication.
That was the whole reason
scandal
that they got in regionals in the first place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're here on a technicality, as Mercedes reminded them. Thanks.
Which is, we've already said in the real world, this would not happen, but Glee is not in the real world. Hannah, let it go.
So Mr. Shu has finally decided on their set list, featuring
which has to revolve around dreams.
Featuring the classic Dreams-related song, "I Love It" by Icona Pop.
I thought it was Charlie XCX for some reason. I guess they sound similar. Hold on. I meant to look this up. Yes. It's not about dreams. Exactly. Okay. Yep. I checked the lyrics.
And then the Scripps Hall of Fame, which is sort of about dreams. I'll give them that.
Yeah. Because that's all I was thinking about when they were doing their set list. I was like, is this about dreams?
About dreams.
Yeah, it's about dreams. So that's 1 for 2 so far.
And Marley's original song, "All or Nothing."
Which I guess the dream in that is like, I'm going to prove everyone wrong.
Yeah.
Which is like, that makes sense. Okay, 2 for 3. Not bad.
Yeah.
Not the assignment, but not bad.
So Brittany comes in and is all like, "What about my original song, My Cup?"
And then they start singing it, and it was great. I was like, I remember when this show was that.
Was Artie and Brittany dating?
Oh, no, I don't want to remember that. Never mind.
Yeah, so Brittany basically goes on like a diva rant. She's like, "You need to respect my super megawatt star power. So I will be doing all the solos. The rest of you can just stand in the background." What else? She's like, Sam is like, "You're being super out of line," and then she breaks up with him over text.
Like in front of everyone. She starts texting and he's like still talking to her.
And she's like, "Why are you being so rude?" That's like,
they're
don't
like a foot away from each other.
And then in front of him, he goes, "You just broke with me over text." And then like, that's it. But also moments before all of this goes down, Shu like announces Joe and Sugar. And,
Joe and Sugar are back.
And it makes that so obvious that they were gone for like 12 million episodes. Like, don't draw attention to it. Just put them in the choir room and we'll just forget that they hadn't been there for
Was the
weeks.
last time we saw them Sadie Hawkins?
Probably.
I want to know where they were in the world of Glee. I just want to know what they came up with.
Joe was on a mission trip.
I was just going to say.
And Sugar thought it was a vacation and she went along.
There you go.
Is that
Perfect.
what they said?
No.
Oh, okay.
But that is exactly what would happen.
Yeah, and there's like, they're featured they're like in a lot of prominent shots throughout the episode. Like there's lots of shots of Sugar during the performance. Joe has a solo. Like,
so really quick, when Brittany's like having her diva rant, does she break things? Like, does she push stuff down at all? Does she physically? Okay, we're gonna have to talk about that a little later. The comparison.
Oh yeah. So they're like, "Yeah, you're way out of line," and she's like, "I'm just following your philosophy, Mr. Shu. It's all or nothing."
And I was like, that's the name of the episode.
I shout out to my Boston therapist, Dr. Laura, who used to always say, "It's not all or nothing, Cullen." And I would think, it's not that season 4 Glee episode.
Or that O-Town smash hit. Cause I want it all or nothing at all. It's such a good song, such a ballad. The rest of the album though is like disgusting in terms of like treatment of women. It's gross. Boy. Oh yeah. I would love to dedicate an entire 12 years of podcast time to just that album. Actually, in particular, the very first song on the album, but I'm not going to waste everyone's time.
I don't know if people would give you 12 years, Hannah.
I would give myself 12 years, and I don't care if anyone's listening.
It's like my latest YouTube video, 0 views. Then Sue comes in and she nails her 95 Theses to...
Wait, Brittany comes in to Roz's
office. Yeah. They call her Sue, maybe.
Yeah.
Same
office.
She nails her 95 crayon theses to the wall. I will say, Brittany did it better. Team Brittany over Martin Luther. What?
Whoa.
Brittany's not anti-Semitic. What? So then, and she burns her Cheerios uniform.
Yeah. She like has like there's like a bucket, and she's like, I've been soaking this in lighter fluid for like 40 days or 40 hours or something like that. And then she lights it on fire in the middle of Roz's office, and Roz is like, oh my God.
And she's like, she talks about how the cheerleaders received illegal kickbacks and like all the reasons she's quitting.
Yeah, she's like, Brittany's trying to read them out loud, and Roz collects them. She's like, I can read them for myself, thank you.
Okay, can we just sidebar? So last episode, no, 2 episodes ago, Becky told Figgins what happened.
Oh yeah.
Nothing has happened. Nothing's happened with that. Season's over. That's all we got.
Fascinating.
Oh my gosh, you're right. I didn't even realize that.
Was she in last week's episode or this episode? Becky?
No.
No, because she only
carted her away
after Sue sang that stupid song about the Annie song.
Little girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was at the end of that episode, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Good one, Glee.
Well, they carted her away just like they carted Emma away.
So Sue is allowed back in the school, I guess. And she's with Will, and they're trying to like have an intervention for Brittany. They're like, you need, like, something's obviously wrong, talk to us. And she's like, I'll only talk to you if you agree to sit down with me on the internet. And it's fondue for two, that's some hot dish. Fondue for two.
It was very strange. These one teacher, one former teacher, agreed to sit in her bedroom to be on an internet TV show and talk about the things that they talked about. Just gonna say that.
Yeah, it was great because Brittany's like, oh, so how are you responding to getting left at the altar? And Will's like, well, actually, Emma and I are getting married again. Like, we're having a small ceremony. And she's like, do you plan on having children or just having weirdly intimate relationships with high schoolers?
And that was the biggest burn. It was so good. Sue was so proud of Brittany in that moment.
And he was like, no, plan on having children. And I was like, yeah, you have no response to that because it's true.
Yeah.
Finn.
Yeah. Oh God. What if they name their baby Finn if they have a baby?
Please.
No.
Oh God.
Please.
Oh no.
I feel like that would be.
That's so weird to name your. Okay.
I think it might. I don't know. I can't say with certainty, so this is not a spoiler, but I think it might happen.
I honestly would not put it past Glee.
To name the fake baby after the fake character, but it's a real person who died. Like, I feel like that's not.
But it would be like his student who died. Because it's named after the student who dies.
Yeah, but there are better ways to like pay homage to dead characters that are also.
But we're talking about
dead
Will
in real life.
He would do something like that but also Glee would too. Like, let's be honest.
It makes me sad inside.
It does, honestly. Like, anyway. Here's hoping that doesn't happen, but it probably does.
And then Brittany has discovered who the celebrity father of Sue's baby is. It is Michael Bolton.
And she's so coy about it. It's great.
Singer of This Is the Tale of Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yes.
And she's like, he was at a concert in Lima 9 months before Robin was born, and she goes through all these crazy details, and then she's like, also the first track of his new album, So Proud to Be Your Father. Robin Sylvester.
Yeah. Love that for Michael Bolton. So he was this, well, no, because I guess they did have sex, because she was like,
he's a fabulous lover.
Yeah. But before that, she was like, yeah, he agreed to be the father of my child or something like that. Anyway, Michael Bolton.
So that accomplishes absolutely nothing.
Yeah, and it's super inappropriate conversation topics to have with a student. Just saying.
Yeah. It wouldn't bother me half as much, like, if it was. I didn't take Fondue for Two seriously until we found out everyone watched it. Now that I know that everyone watches it, I'm really creeped out.
Yeah.
So then Sam realizes something is wrong, and he calls Santana, and he's like, I know I'm not your favorite person, but you know I would help you. Something's wrong with Brittany. She broke up with me, and Santana's like, inevitably. And he just keeps like making fun of his mouth and stuff, and he's like, no, Brittany's in trouble. She needs help. You know, like,
yeah. Brittany also made fun of his mouth. She was like, your lips are definitely too big for your face.
She said, like, I miss sweet lady kisses or something when she broke up with him. It was like really mean in front of everyone.
Yeah.
She should have been like, he thought sexual assault of a minor was okay. So Santana agrees to just come back to Lima. Because
she can just like afford that. But I guess like her mom did give her like a boatload of cash apparently. Yeah. So maybe she can actually afford that.
Although we just got done with an episode where she was saying that she couldn't afford anything.
Oh, fascinating. Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. That's debunked.
I would love if every time she goes to New York, she sings This Girl's on Fire. And every time she goes back, she sings This Girl's on Fire in reverse.
But when you say in reverse, do you mean like the creepy in reverse?
Yeah.
Like the actual backwards? This suddenly turned into a horror TV show.
Hasn't it always been?
Funny enough, I'm not a fan of horror TV. Love horror movies. Horror TV is a little bit boring.
So then Santana comes back, and Santana is on Fondue for Two.
Wait, hold on a second. We did miss a very key point. Before the Fondue for Two thing happened, Sue was at the school.
I mentioned that.
Oh, about the placenta being in the fridge?
Oh, I forgot to mention that. The placenta was in the fridge.
I just saw this. Robin Sylvester's placenta that she lived in was in the fridge and the teacher's lounge of a high school.
I'm not surprised. Office fridges are like their own new circle of hell. Which, according to Dante, the lowest circle of hell is cold, so...
Anyway, so Santana's there on Fondue for Two.
And she's like, I agreed to visit you and not be on an internet talk show. And Brittany's like, do you have a new girlfriend? Like, she's like quizzing her, and Santana's like, we're here to talk about you.
Yeah. But Lord Tubbington was pretty mad because he has a very particular way of directing the episode, and Santana screwed it all up.
Because she cut it off, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, Lord Tubbington can deal because he's a racist.
Yeah, he's in the KKK. So.
Yeah, your favorites. They live long enough. Was it die a hero or live long enough to become a villain?
Yep.
That's never applies more than when you're a Glee character.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true.
What is that from?
I don't know.
I think it's just a common saying.
It's from a movie.
I feel...
Maybe Mean Girls too?
Oh my god.
Yeah,
it's probably in a movie.
It's from a movie. It's gonna bug me. The fact
Is it in a Batman movie?
it might be. It might
Because
be
it
a
sounds
Batman
like a
movie.
Batman thing.
It is. It is. It's from the Batman trilogy.
Oh, with Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Cullen's face is great.
It's like, what if we made Batman, but without anything that makes Batman fun?
I never thought Batman was fun. Thank you. He's not a fun character.
That's why
Have you
he
seen
has
the cartoons?
That's
They're
why
fun.
he has Robin and Batgirl and all.
The only part of Batman that I actually like is the lady with Ivy.
Poison Ivy.
I like Poison Ivy.
Poison Ivy, who
Love Poison Ivy.
is the real hero because Batman is a capitalist trust fund baby. I'm just coming out with all the hot takes today. Who supports, according to the George Clooney version, supports fossil fuels, while Poison Ivy wants him to divest from fossil fuels. And I'm like, why is she the villain of this movie? Like, she does some evil things.
She lived long enough, Cullen.
she does
lived
some
too long.
evil things later on in that movie. At the beginning, she's literally just trying to fundraise for the environment. Like, I'm like, wait, that's her evil plot.
Yeah.
Yikes. Okay, so back to Glee.
That was the Batman corner.
Brittany eventually comes back to Glee Club.
Yeah, because she basically like tells Santana off camera like what's actually going on.
Yeah. And so Santana brings her back, and Brittany goes to this thing like, yeah, we're like a family. Mr. Shu is the dad. And Mercedes and Tina, you're like my sisters. Joe
she calls him Jim, and he's like, my name's Joe.
What did you call him? The foster kid?
Yeah, like, no,
Tina,
Mercedes, and Mercedes were like sisters. Because she said Mercedes twice, talking about
It got more convoluted as she kept going.
Because Kitty and Ryder and Marley
were
and
the
Jake
foster kids.
were the foster kids that moved in when the orphanage was closed, and Sam was the cute boy from across the tracks.
What was Joe and Sugar?
Were they the weird neighbor kid?
Maybe.
Possibly, yeah.
Probably.
We had to watch this episode before Glee went off Netflix. Okay, we're a little rusty.
It was a while back.
I watched this literally on the day that it was leaving Netflix. I think like 3 hours before it left. So
yeah. So Brittany's back, and after the performance, she is like sitting on the stage alone, and Santana comes and joins her and is like, it'll be okay.
Well, because she tells everyone that she's going to MIT because they offered her like what
early
they said was a once in a lifetime thing, or like basically they made it sound like this has never ever happened because she scribbled down a bunch of numbers on a paper. I love this idea.
Compared her to
Einstein.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the National Geographic Genius series about Britney Spears.
Who's gonna play Britney Spears? Britney Spears.
Yes.
Because she was so good in that movie that she did that involved abortion. I don't remember what it was. What Crossroads? Maybe there wasn't an abortion, but I think there was abortion talk.
I don't know. Anyway, is this like a joke that we're supposed to think she's like Einstein, or are they actually like saying that she's like Einstein now? I think it is serious.
Because she says when she's telling their family, she's like, everyone's heard about this. She's like, everyone told me my whole life I was stupid, but then I came in here and you believed in me. And so then I realized maybe I wasn't stupid, and then I became smart. Like, that is the logic, that by believing in her in a singing and dancing club, she became intelligent.
But like, not intelligent necessarily, just like a seer who can randomly compute numbers.
Yes.
Nostradamus.
Yeah, like she has like some sort of like psychological power as opposed to like a specific intelligence that allowed her to like, calculate this number. So I feel like they aren't actually going to have her study at MIT. I think they want to test on her. That's what I got from this.
Okay,
Because
I
they cut off in the beginning when she was talking to them and they're like, we have a very unique opportunity for you or something. And then in the show circle, she's like, yeah, they're offering me early admission. I was like, did she misunderstand and they are gonna just like study on her?
They're gonna like,
or did they actually like
do tests and stuff?
Yeah, I was like, or are they quote unquote giving her admission and that's what she thinks. So I'm like,
That's a very dark Britney storyline.
honestly, wouldn't surprise me because Glee is super weird. Ryan Murphy is doing American Horror Story at this point too. So he's got all his wires crossed with like
Oh my
what
goodness.
genre he's writing. Would not surprise me if that's actually what happens.
So yeah, so she's going to MIT, aka Heather Morris is pregnant. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Yes, because I was like, because like I saw like a view of her and she looked like she had a bump. I was like, oh, maybe she's pregnant this time and maybe that's why this is happening. But then I realized, no, this is the season finale. Like they're going to be done filming for a while. Unless like they filmed this like right before she had to leave. I don't know. Something is wrong with the timeline here. And this
I feel
feels
like the hiatus between seasons though is not as long as
A pregnancy. Plus
For sure.
maternity leave.
But what I'm saying is like it feels like this was written because like this is the season finale, right? We didn't need to have her find out that like, oh, she's leaving today. Like we could have found that out first episode next season and be like, oh yeah, Brittany got early admission to MIT. Like
They wanted to give her a send-off.
yeah. It doesn't make sense for the plot though.
Well, I mean, when has Glee ever done
Because
that?
This makes me think that they didn't intend for this to be the season finale originally when they were like writing the story, but then ended up doing it and then also had to do that. I don't know.
They're
It
like,
just
oh
feels
shit,
really
this is
weird.
episode 22.
Yeah, like
Who
I
was
don't know.
counting?
Something was very off about this whole
They
episode.
forgot about Lights Out because everyone did.
What are we talking about? Exactly.
So yes, that's really Brittany's storyline. Meanwhile, at one point, Will tells them one of their own has her call back for Funny Girl today. Send good vibes to Rachel.
Everyone cheers. I'm like, again, half of you people don't even know her. The other half probably don't care about her that much.
Yeah, the other half don't like her.
When has Artie and Rachel like ever interacted?
Run, Joey, run.
Did he direct that?
Yeah, of course he did.
Oh.
How could we forget Run, Joey, Run?
We cannot.
Never forget.
Different show.
Totally different show.
So Rachel auditions with some Celine Dion song, Snooze Fest, whatever.
This reminds me of when she sang Celine Dion to audition for Cabaret, which we talked about on Gleek of the Week. And that just it kind of made me chuckle. I was like, back to Celine Dion. But she also like legit just starts bawling while she's singing it. And I was like, what is this going to achieve?
And then series MVP. The whistle or flute guy or the flute woman
Yes.
in the background. Just like suddenly there's a flute there just going and it killed me. It was so funny.
That was great. And there was also a point where like I don't think it's like a short, like a recorder. Is that like a piccolo?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was like one point where like the piccolo lady is literally like behind her like left shoulder and she's like just standing there holding her piccolo just getting ready to go. And I was like, this is the weirdest shot because all I can see is the piccolo lady. Star, like literally series MVP.
So good.
Doing the bare minimum.
Rachel cries, and then they're like, "Okay, thank you," and then she's just like sobbing, like, "Okay."
Yeah. Yeah, they're like, we'll let you know. And that's it. And I was like, you cried for literally nothing, Rachel. Like, what are you doing? I think the mundaneness of the piccolo person standing there and then Rachel just bawling while she's singing, that juxtaposition was just so weird in a single shot. Like,
It's, like,
I
not
think it
even
deserves
that
an Emmy.
emotional. Like, it's not an emotional song. I don't know.
I don't even remember the song.
I don't either. That's
I
why I'm
wasn't
saying
paying
it's not
attention.
emotional.
I wasn't paying attention to the lyrics. I'm like, maybe it was emotional, but also I'm like, why are you crying? Like, I don't get it.
Like, the only song that I will admit, like, if she cried during this song, I'd be like, yes, you cried during this song, is I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston.
But Mercedes sang that.
Yep, and
But yeah, she can't sing it again.
they don't have the rights to sing that more than once.
Oh, we will learn a lot about Glee repeating songs next season.
Oh boy.
Okay, wait, I thought you said season 6 is when they run out of ideas, Cullen.
We all know they've been out of ideas since Madonna Week is.
Why are we bringing up this cursed episode? Also, okay, going back to what I was talking about earlier about that article that I scanned about Glee leaving Netflix, this person who wrote the article kept talking about how great the Power of Madonna episode was, and I had to text Cullen and Alyssa just to check that we were all living in the same universe, and we watched the same episode, and it was not good. And then Alyssa made a good point. She's like, there was some good bops, but the messaging was like crazy. I was like, okay, I feel a little bit better.
Yeah, like it's not all of it's awful, but if you look at it as a whole, it's not good.
If you like look from far away and squint, it's decent.
It's like when you take a salad that has ingredients that you don't like, right? There are things in it that you like, but because there are ingredients in it that you don't like, it ruins the whole thing.
Yeah, fucking pecans, man. Anywho.
All right.
And that's Rachel's storyline.
Just
right?
that song. Yeah.
Like, that's it. Because she got her closure with Cassie last week.
Yeah.
And then
We
she has
see
this
nothing else of her.
callback.
Yeah.
That's it. So she was in this episode for like 2 minutes, and she's probably top billed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for Leah Michelle, honestly.
So, Ryder.
Okay.
My notes say Ryder is mad.
So they are they rehearsing, right? They're like in a circle, and he like wigs out because no one will like.
Because
Or was this
earlier he's like, they're back to the face shots.
Yeah, because he's like still trying to figure out who the catfish is, because basically like every other week he cares about it. The rest of the other weeks he's like, you know what? I'm gonna chill out on it this week.
The stupid black and white silhouette.
Yeah, and he's like basically like imagining like, tell me who you are, and then the voice goes like, it's Kitty, and then it goes to like everyone, almost everyone in the Glee Club, like it's Marley, it's Jake, other people.
If the catfish had been Jake, that would be so good.
Yeah.
It'd be so interesting. He's like, yeah, I want semi-nude pics of my bro. What's weird about that?
Well, also, I think it would be interesting that, like,
Alyssa's face is priceless.
one of the defenses he could be is like, dude, you wouldn't even open up to me as me. Like, it took me having to pretend to be a pretty girl for you to do that. Like, I feel like that could be kind of an interesting reason. But yeah, so he wigs out in the middle of class. Like,
he's like, everyone pull out your phones.
Yeah, he's like demanding people pull out their phones. He like kicks over the stand, the music stand.
Kicking the chairs.
He's officially like taken over Finn's role as like
yes,
needs anger management.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, so he's wigging out about being catfished, but Brittany is over there wigging out because she has to leave all her friends. Yet, like, she's not like throwing a giant tantrum in terms of like throwing things around. So this actually brought me back to something Cullen said a long time ago about like the boys being allowed to physically exert themselves and like knock shit over and cause destruction. It's, you know, toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting thing I just realized, when Jake did it, Mr. Shu was mad.
Well, we all know why that was. It's because Jake's black. That's why.
Thanks
That's
for
the
spelling
reason.
that out, Hannah.
Just in case everyone else listening was like, what? So yeah, because Shu is very passive. He's like, Ryder,
Calm
sit
down.
down, stop.
Not,
He's basically whispering.
yeah, not calm the fuck down. You will sit down right away.
Yeah.
Because he could he could hurt somebody.
I kind of wish
He
that had
felt
happened.
Like, yeah, honestly, it felt like he was going to hurt somebody.
Yeah.
Like, it was aggressive.
It was like he was threatening everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so bad. I was like, it's just a problem that
It's like, why is this the moment that he chooses to have an outburst like that? Because, like, he's had weeks to try to confront someone. It's just like...
It's because teen dramas and TV in general has trouble when they want a guy to be nice and sensitive. They worry that people will think he's gay or effeminate or something. So then they have him exert physical violence to
show he's straight
and masculine.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
I do wish that there was some kind of build up, though. Like, this was very abrupt.
Yeah, if it had been building up for episodes, then it would make sense. And if people had it's Mr. Shu's reaction, because it's a believable reaction from Ryder. Like, he is being fucked with. Like,
yeah.
It's
still
like, it's a very realistic reaction. But if Mr. Shu had been like, that is not appropriate behavior, but he let Sam and Artie walk all over him. He lets
everyone walk all over him, except for like Kurt had to go perform with the boys because Shu said so.
Or he had
Kurt felt more comfortable with the girls.
When he had wanted to do Britney Spears week, he got sent to the principal's office.
Yeah, it's so confusing of a message to be sending to people. Like, not confusing in the sense of like, I don't understand, like confusing that like, what are you teaching people essentially with these messages?
Nothing good.
That's true. Yeah, so Ryder freaks out and then Marley's like, it was me.
I'm catfish. And then he's like, what? And then Jake is like, just calm down. It's just a joke that got out of hand. And he's like, you're defending her? All of you? I can't believe it. I can't believe you won't let me just punch Marley right now.
That's actually, I thought something similar, that like, he was like, you guys are all defending her. I'm like, what are they gonna do? Like, you just kicked a music stand over, you fucking freak. Seriously, like, calm down.
Here's Marley.
That the interesting thing is, like, if he hadn't freaked out and kicked things over and been aggressive,
this never would have come up. Like, no one would have confessed.
Well, no. I think there could be a way to write tension in the scene to create a confession, because we're not just gonna, as writers, sit back and say like, oh yeah, a confession can't happen without violence. I think that's
what if Ryder cried?
I think that would be
way better.
That would be way better. And
because
that's a way to get a confession. Because
you said that he might not think that he doesn't have to use violence or he has to use violence. Like, I think he feel like he may be like, the only way to get through to people is to be angry, because before he cried to Jake and Marley, but of course they were just trying to calm him down and stuff, but I don't know. It's really strange. I feel like that would have been a way strong and would have made more sense for his character, because he has already cried about this.
Yeah. And then Jake and everyone backing Marley up would have seemed like a bad move on their part. You know, like I would be backing his outrage in that moment. Like, I can't believe you're defending her. Like,
because Kitty says, well, no one's going to confess to being catfish for fear of being murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is so weird. Like, why did they choose this instead of the alternative that we just, like, a similar alternative, at least to what we posed, because that makes more sense for his character. It's so frustrating.
So then Marley's...
I'm gonna kick a music stand. I'm so frustrated.
I'm gonna go buy a music stand, set it up.
I am on Amazon right now purchasing one. It will be here in 3 days. I have Amazon Prime.
That's a long time to hold on to this.
Just going to bed. Violent.
I must be violent. I cannot cry.
So Marley is trying to, because Ryder's like, I quit. And then Marley is trying to be like, you can't punish everyone at Glee Club for something I did. And then Unique is like, Marley, you're sweet, but you don't have to keep covering for me. I'm catfish.
In the middle of the hallway also. Yeah. I was like, all these kids are walking around like, what, catfish? Oh shit. This is like that MTV show come to life.
And we get this shot of catfish, or not catfish, well, yes, catfish.
Catfish.
Unique telling Marley, it just got out of hand, you know, and it couldn't stop. And she's like,
I was right. It's Unique.
Yeah. I don't know. Did we really need a scene of Unique telling Marley? Like, what if Marley just like stood up for the group to get Ryder to just like
not hurt someone?
Yeah. Like, I don't know.
But then Unique is like, I know I'm not your vision of beauty, so I put a picture of a girl that you think was cute, a pretty blonde, and then we talked, and so the pictures were fake, but the rest of it was real, the jokes, the stories, it was all me. And then what we have is real, I didn't want to lose it. And Ryder's like, what we have is nothing. I never want to talk to you again.
So did Unique do this because she likes Ryder? And I'm using that term because obviously teenagers. Okay, because I don't know. I probably wasn't really paying attention to the episode. I didn't really get that undercurrent.
So there's some kind of something beautifully tragic in the wanting someone who'll never like you back. It's the Little Mermaid, you know. It's Ursula
was really unloved, and that's why she turned into a giant sea witch.
Part of me, like, it can empathize with the storyline, so I like it in that way. But part of me hates that this trans character's only storylines are being stopped from performing or made fun of for being trans or being threatened
deceitful.
Or being deceitful.
Yes, and that's something that pervades lots of media. I think I talked about the Crying Game. Oh no, Unique mentioned the Crying Game.
Yeah.
And we had kind of briefly talked about it. But in that movie, there's a trans character who is passing as cis, and it's revealed that they're actually trans because we see their genitalia. And it's like, it's just like this really uncomfortable thing that, like, it is sort of that juxtaposition of like this beautifully tragic, a lot of people can relate to it kind of storyline, but it is that trope of like the trans character deceiving someone or the queer person deceiving someone.
Yeah, especially when you consider like all of Kurt's machinations to get with Finn.
Oh God,
yeah. There's a lot of underhanded things that go on. I wish that, and like, I feel like the whole time I pretty much knew it was Unique. Like,
yeah,
it was kind of obvious, at least for me. But
yeah, as soon as you guys pointed it out, I was like, oh yeah.
I wanted to see it from her perspective. I didn't really care about Ryder.
Yeah.
I think it would be interesting if the whole reason why she contacted him in the first place was to like kind of show him her perspective about the world, which is what we see in the first episode that the catfish is introduced.
Yeah.
But because the fact is we never know for sure that it's her, there's no like there's not this interesting development where you go from wanting to teach someone something and then learning more about them and then finding out that you actually like them. Like I wanted to see that development in that relationship from Unique's perspective, but it just doesn't exist.
Unique is a Black trans woman, so we need the perspective
of the straight white man.
Yeah. If Glee had taught us anything, its diverse characters are there to sing in the background and to be there
as the diversity cards.
Yeah. We're all minorities. We're in Glee Club, baby.
I still hate that entire sentence. No, Alyssa, you're spot on. I think not only would have been more interesting, I feel like there is a way that if they started it with Ryder as like this is like interesting, he has this new like person he's talking to. Like, is there a way to develop seeing Unique's side of the story alongside that? Or would we replace it? Because I feel like there could be a way to do both, and that could create some really interesting tension for the audience. It wouldn't be able to last very long, but
I think it would be way more, there would be way more attention, especially if we got more of Unique's story and we're rooting for Unique during this period, like, and not backing Ryder, because as it stands, the only thing that is quote unquote tension for the audience right now is finding out who it is. And it's not really a good choice on their part.
Yeah, like do we want Unique to come clean because it's the right thing to do, or are we scared for Unique and her safety?
Yeah, there's so many more flavors of tension if you know that it's her.
Right, but there's still that idea that like we have to buy into her catfishing him. So like once that turns from like say like Ryder has that really gross stuff about like of him being transphobic, and then he meets his catfish and we find out that and we see that it's Unique and we see the purpose of that relationship. But once it turns away from that and we have the resolution of him being like, you are who you are, how do we buy into that as an audience? Because he's still deceiving him.
This is kind of an interesting thing where I feel like if Ryder was humanized kind of in the same storyline, so his the storyline that happened a couple episodes ago,
the sexual assault one.
Yes. If we like found out about that and Unique found out about that all in the same time, that could make him a more human in her eyes. And then we could sort of see the transition of where instead of wanting to teach him, she wants to like be friends with him. But I don't know how to make the deception. Like, I don't think that deceiving him is okay, but the
longer it goes on from Unique's perspective, I think the harder it would be for people to buy into. But I definitely think it could be like a 2-episode arc. Like,
I think people would buy into it. I think even though it's something wrong, people would still understand why.
I think that's true. I don't think like just because deception is wrong doesn't mean it's
not entertaining.
Well, it's right, but
and
also
interesting to watch.
There are thousands of people in the world who don't see the world in black and white, and like it's a gray area. Like white lies. The whole.
Yeah.
If it's not really hurting anyone,
Like, I think people would connect, and I think the problem with these deceptive trans character storylines is that they're always from the perspective of cis people.
Yes, for sure. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if I would even do this storyline at all in the Gleeboot, because it's like, I don't see really either side working, because I don't think this worked.
What if Ryder catfishes Unique? Like, we're having a Ryder in the Gleeboot, but
yeah. I mean,
if the straight white male character likes the trans character, but is scared of pushback from their friends, from their parents, from being seen as gay, you know.
Interesting.
And so they catfish.
That's a totally other story, and I'm into that for sure. Yeah, I don't know, because I think like this storyline totally met its like milked enough like weeks ago. Like, I feel like it really only should have been like 2-3 episodes.
It out way too long.
Especially because it would be like an episode without it, and then the catfish.
Yeah, so I feel like
it was like over 5 or 6 episodes, but it only featured in like 3
or 4.
Yeah,
I think this will be the 4th episode. Yeah, so I feel like if it was like a 2 or 3 consecutive week thing, I feel like it would work. I think it must be then the timing, because I am also still thinking that like, okay, well, all this time we're not seeing it happen. Unique is still playing into it, and whatever his name is,
the timing would have to be refined and cut down, and like.
So I think then, thinking about it as if it was like consecutive, like a couple episodes back to back, I feel like that would probably work with having it from Unique's perspective, and would be more interesting. Because I feel like you don't have to keep buying into it every single week for multiple weeks. Like,
you can sort of ride you can like ride the emotions of the characters in like 2 or 3 episodes,
and then you come to, after like 2 or 3 episodes, then you have this really interesting character dynamic that you actually get to see play out for the rest of the season. Right. That could be really interesting, or the next season, whatever it is.
Because right now we just get Ryder comes back and is like, Marley was right. I shouldn't punish the whole club for something one person did, but I don't think I should join Glee Club again. And I'm like, honestly, fair. Like, this club has put you through a lot, man.
They literally.
Like, I don't remember that line. It never occurred to me that Ryder wasn't coming
fast. It was so fast, Alyssa. Like, I literally, all of a sudden I saw Shu and him together, and I heard them talking, and then Ryder's like, yeah, I'm not coming back. I was like, oh, okay. And it was on to the next thing.
If I didn't come back, I think I would not care.
Yeah.
Yep, that's kind of the point where. So I think the reason why they ended up finally revealing who the catfish was, because the show was banking on the fact that at this point we would feel so bad for Ryder that we would care for him and want to figure out like what happens to him after, that we would like him enough to see him in season 2 or the next season. I keep thinking it's season 2 coming up, because it's season 2 for these characters. But I feel like they wanted to give us that sympathy for him, so that we would be somewhat invested in him enough, but we just weren't.
No, it didn't work. They fudged it. They don't know how to keep drama and tension going from episode to episode, because they don't understand how like episodes work. You know, stringing one to the other, making sure storylines stay straight. It's hard to keep up tension when your storylines are like all frayed endings. And
let's talk about Kurt's dad having cancer. Christmas, found out Kurt's dad has cancer. Yep. Nothing. Lights out.
Hey, do you remember when Kurt had a boyfriend in Adam's Apples and then he mysteriously disappeared, which was mentioned in this episode?
Wait. His boyfriend mysteriously disappeared?
Well, yes. And now Ryan Murphy is doing an episode of SVU. No, yeah. The Adam's Apples guy, they're not dating anymore. We haven't, Adam from Adam's Manzanas. We haven't seen him in a long time.
Yeah, but he didn't actually, like, that's not the reason, right? He didn't just up and disappear.
No.
Like, this isn't suddenly
Who
true
would-
crime, is
But
it?
someone talks about it in this episode. I don't remember who it is.
Yeah, I think Sam or Tina brings it up. Did I count Tina's lines?
I did not.
She had lines?
I think she had at least, I'm not saying it till the end of the episode.
Yeah, so someone says that, and then I was like, oh yeah, what did happen to him? Because there was nothing, like, it's so strange.
No, he just fell off the bandwagon.
But yeah, so we find out at Christmas Kurt's dad has cancer. Of like several episodes later, Sarah Jessica Parker is like, is your dad okay? And Kurt's like, we're gonna find out soon. Then we find out that he doesn't have cancer. Kurt monopolizes a classroom to sing about it.
Gets
And
the other teens to dance with him. And then now he's here, just like gallivanting around, I guess helping with regionals.
I guess so.
I don't know what
don't
his
know.
Doesn't he have
purpose was.
classes?
Right.
I don't know.
Did he take like in this wouldn't be spring break?
Maybe it's just like over a
Or
weekend
maybe
or something.
it was spring break?
Who knows?
I don't know what's happening.
The
Where are
timeline
we
is
in
wacky.
time?
We don't know where we are.
Time is a social construct. But anyway.
The next
Um,
storyline is made up. My notes are made up of 3 words. They are blam, Blina, lesbians.
Okay. And this is
So
what storyline?
Blaines. So
Okay. Blam,
Blaine-
Lena, and lesbians. Yes, that sums it up. All right. So the next one is Wemma.
yeah, so Blaine is talking with Sam, and Sam's like, are you sure? Like, you're super young. You're not even with Kurt. I think this is when he's like, doesn't Kurt have some boyfriend?
Yes. He's like, isn't he dating the Adam's Apples guy or whatever? And I'm like, how would Sam even know that?
And Blaine is like, yeah, but like, we're in love and we're meant to be. And
This was after Bert last week told Blaine, no, do not propose to my son.
I can't figure out why he's so gung-ho on about this idea. I just don't get it.
because Blaine's
Yeah,
like,
because-
I haven't done anything for a while other than plan to take down Sue and then say the school needs her in a sexy
And
exercise
then-
class. So I need something to do.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about that.
It's like, it feels almost like when Sam and Brittany get married because it's the end of the world.
And he
but
mentions
there's no
that,
end
yeah.
of the world.
Yeah, he mentions,
Yeah.
he's like, didn't you marry Brittany? And he's like, it was the end of the world.
And then I found out it wasn't happening, and so then we called off our marriage or whatever he said.
He said he regretted it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, do they think they're still married? Well, they're broken up.
Yeah.
Does
Brittany
that
broke up
mean
with him.
Beast has to make an official, quote unquote, official divorce paper?
No, it was
them?
all invalid because she's not actually a priest.
Did she tell them that?
At one point, she does.
Oh my
Yeah.
but
God,
not
she
in Catholic
did.
terms.
I forgot.
Beast the
Anywho.
priest.
Beast the priest.
So then, so then Sam, he's like, that's a shame, Sam, because I wanted you to be the best man.
What a thing to hold over your best friend.
Yeah.
It's
I think
almost
I
like
would
when
do
Rachel
it.
said to Quinn, oh, it's a shame, Quinn, because I would have loved to see you in a bridesmaid dress. We thought it was season 6 they were out of ideas.
So actually, I kind of wish Sam had brought up the fact that when Rachel and Finn tried to get married, that it caused someone to get in a car accident and like partially paralyzed them. I kind of wish that he had brought that up.
That would be a very Sam thing to do.
Yeah, right? You'd be
That's a
like,
very Sam line.
teen weddings cause car crashes.
Especially because we know that he's a conspiracy theorist.
Yes. but also this doesn't make sense why Blaine is trying to rush into this, because literally he's going to graduate and then he's going to go. Okay, also, where are these kids going to college? It's March of their senior year. And
Yep.
last season, all we cared about was where Rachel and Kurt and Finn, what they were doing.
No one knows.
But Blaine is literally going to go to New York and try to be with Kurt anyway. Like, that was kind of their plan. I'm assuming
Tina's
that
going
probably
to
still is a plan.
veterinary school.
Which you do need an undergraduate degree to get into vet school, by the way.
Okay.
Because it is
good
a
to
graduate
know.
degree. So maybe she got like a pre-acceptance into like a veterinary undergrad program so that she like pre-vet instead of pre-med. Anyway, that's besides the point.
So
It doesn't make sense that Blaine is rushing.
So then Blaine is in the jewelry shop with Tina, and Tina's like, oh, if you're getting a ring for me, you get this one because my hands are bigger and I'm probably going to blow when I have children.
Yeah, she's like, I'm going to put on some weight. And I was like, okay, Tina, / the writer who wrote her those lines. I'm so sorry.
This is why I love Tina, though.
Because she literally is like, yeah, my fingers are on the bigger side. And then when we have kids, I'm going to gain weight. And I'm like, oh, geez.
That's why I love Tina, though, because she's somehow the only person with a realistic expectation of life.
That's true. That is actually a thing that people should think about.
Like, Rachel had no backup plans.
She was not thinking about how much weight she's going to put on if she has children with Finn at the age of 30, after she wins 2 Tonys, I think she said.
So, sorry. I was just bored by season 4 of Glee. So then Sam comes in, or well, first they're talking to this lady,
the shop seller, who like thinks that they're together having like a shotgun wedding.
She's like, yeah, and then he's like, no, it's for my boyfriend. She's like, oh, and then he's looking at rings, and Sam comes in, and she's like, oh, is this him? Because Sam's like, I'm here to support you. And he's like, Sam's like, no, he wants to do me, but we're just friends. And then
Blaine is obviously like mortified, but then this lesbian fairy godmother is like whisking him away. And as he is, Sam is like, Blaine's like looking at him like, what the fuck? And Sam goes, what? You do want to do me? And I'm like, what? What is this friendship? It's so strange. But like weirdly wholesome, but very strange.
Because this show has always struggled with friendships. It's always been a romantic relationship first kind of show.
True.
Yeah, there are some friendships, but not really a ton that I believe in.
Name a friendship besides Blam. Right? There's Jider, but who cares?
There's Puck and Finn.
Fuck
Kurt
that.
and Rachel.
Kachel, oh yeah.
Kachel.
They are kind of each other. Kurt Sadie's, I guess.
I don't consider Kurt friends with anyone, frankly. Because Kurt is awful to other human beings a lot of the time.
So is Rachel. Yeah.
So maybe they're perfect for each other. And also so is Santana. Kircheltana.
I'm sure I've seen some Glee confession posts about that.
I do not want to talk about any of those posts. Cullen will send me and Allyssa just the weirdest things we've ever seen on there. And we're like, what are you people thinking?
Like, I ship Quinn and Marley. And you're like,
no.
What?
Quarley.
Best part of that ship is the name.
Is it though? I don't know. I think the best part of that ship is that it doesn't exist in real life.
Why would you call something Quarley when you can just call it Min?
I didn't really think of that, but Quarley sounds better, I think.
Min sounds like an actual name.
It is an actual name.
Yeah, that's why it sounds like one.
But that's not the point of ship names.
I hate ship names.
Yeah, me too.
Them.
But that's the point. So wait, did Glee invent ship names? Is that what we're gonna go with? Because there's so many. It's like they're like, oh yeah, no, we invented the mashup, even though people have done it before them. But we also invented ship names, even though people have done it before them. Gay. They did invent being gay. That's true.
I was a straight child until 2009. So Yeah, so there's this lesbian lady who's just like, oh, me and my partner, we love each other, we've been together. And then she's like, do you have anyone to guide you through this, someone who's gay? And Blaine's like, no one wants to hire actors to play my parents.
They hired my very handsome brother.
Someone was playing somebody that I used to know in the car the other day, and I was like, I hate that all I could think about is Big Brother episode of Glee.
Okay, but that episode kind of slaps, and I may actually buy it on our account so we can watch it whenever we want.
I actually loved that episode.
Okay, I'm gonna buy it on our account. That's my treat to you guys.
Oh, thanks.
So,
yeah, no, this episode is super boring.
yeah.
So basically, this lady, I don't remember her name. I feel so bad. Oh my God, what was her name?
Is she some actress? I was watching her. I'm like, I feel like I'm supposed to know who she is.
Jan. Her name is Jan in this. Okay, so Jan basically like invites Blaine, to go to dinner with him, with her and her partner.
Yeah.
And to bring Kurt along. But does Blaine mention that he and Kurt aren't together currently because he cheated on him with a guy whose profile picture was a lighthouse? I feel like that's important information to give your lesbian fairy godmother.
Especially the lighthouse part.
With them.
Yeah.
Because she's going to be like, oh, I hear you two are engaged. That's how normal conversation would go with people that you don't know.
Her partner... Okay, let's get into the breadstick scene then, I guess, because
they're at breadsticks and they're telling all these stories of how they met and what they did, and like
Jan and her partner.
And eventually they're like,
they met at a Styx concert.
Yeah, and now they're at breadsticks, so full circle.
They were apparently at breadsticks. They camped out for the opening,
which is honestly my favorite part of the whole story.
I loved that. It's like, why?
And so they are talking about like how we always thought we'd get married, but it wasn't legal in Ohio yet. And then the woman kneels down and is like, well, will you marry me somewhere else where it is legal? And proposes to her, and everyone claps.
But before that, so Kurt was like, well, how did you guys meet? And then she goes into the story, but he actually meant Jan and Blaine. And then Blaine was like, oh yeah, we just like, we're at Sbarro at the mall and we just got to chatting. Cause you know how like gays work. They just gravitate toward each other, I guess. She probably complimented his pants. And he was like, oh, thanks, like your vest. And they're like, oh my God, we're obviously both gay.
Maybe that's when she figured out that it was like supposed to be a secret or something. But also her partner was like, so how long have you been together? And then Kurt was like,
oh, we're not a couple.
We're not together.
Stirs his tea.
Yep.
That was so awkward.
Yep.
It was such a weird this whole storyline is so weird.
Like, why would Jan, I don't know. Like, why would Jan be like, let me help you out. Let me guide you through like gay adulthood. But oh wait, your ex-boyfriend that you want to propose to soon because you're buying a ring, you're not dating, and he's very clearly showing signs that he doesn't want to be with you, or at least right now. Why would she continue to feed this fantasy?
Blaine is in an unhealthy fascination with Kurt.
Yes.
Well, I think
unhealthy...
he got that from Kurt.
I don't understand.
Blaine needs therapy.
He needs
everyone on this show
boundaries.
Needs therapy.
He needs to go on a date with that guy from the workout class.
Yeah, what happened to him?
Our favorite character. He is actually the sibling of Piccolo Lady.
Love
He's
it.
her younger brother.
I love this canon.
Yeah, because like he kind of moved on by having a crush on Sam, but Sam is unattainable. So like, go be with someone attainable.
Yeah.
Can we please write Sam bye?
Oh yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Just wait till you see the ballot.
We already decided.
Okay.
We decided. I don't know. Maybe I think it is like the show is like, oh, we need to have Blaine to do something. It's like, oh, we'll make him very obviously still in love with Kurt, and Kurt's just like still not interested. But you know what? It's gonna be okay. Everyone's gonna root for him because he's Blaine and he's perfect, right?
Except for the lighthouse thing.
I don't know. Like, this was the best they could come up with.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed.
I have been disappointed since season 1, episode 1.
I want Blaine to have like poured himself into being student body president and have like some ridiculous campaign, like
making everyone wear hair gel.
Yeah, something like that.
Everyone in this school has frizz. What's the guy's name? Jacob Ben Israel. I'm talking to you. Get some hair gel. And like he makes it that like there's hair gel in the vending machines. You have to wear it.
Blaine has 2 character traits. I like Kurt and I like hair gel.
That's accurate.
Yeah, or have him like do stuff with all his LARPer friends.
Yeah, like have him actually. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you remember he's a superhero? Oh yeah, and he was also LARPing.
Oh yeah. When he joined all of the clubs and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like he does. He needs an actual like storyline that involves something that's not Kurt. But I feel like the show is pushing them as endgame so hard right now. They want you to be like rooting for this.
Because we're endgame, Archie. Veronica Lodge.
Okay.
But they did this with Rachel and Finn. Like once they started dating, suddenly Rachel would like forget all her ambitions and just be like focused on Finn. And then when Quinn was like, you need to like focus on yourself, and they're like, Quinn's so mean, and I was like, Quinn's kind of right.
Yeah.
And then Brittany was like, I ship it.
This show is boy crazy. They've got boy problems.
Carly Rae Jepsen.
Yeah. Nice.
So, okay. So then Blaine is seen holding a jewelry box in the last scene.
Behind his back, it's open. There's a romantic thing happening at the same time. And then that is our official cliffhanger.
That's it?
Like that is like the end of the episode.
I did, but I don't know if I saw that shot.
You missed
They ended
the
it
cliffhanger?
on the shot of the jewelry box that he had the ring in. How long was the shot?
Like 3 seconds, because it was zooming out, and then it was black.
They zoomed out. They didn't even zoom in on it. They zoomed out.
Well, no, you saw it. No, so it was behind his back. It was zoomed in, and then it was everyone in the circle, Blaine looking at Kurt, and they were zooming out of like that shot, and you could still see the thing open. I kind of
remember it now.
Or maybe it wasn't open. Maybe it was it was behind his back, so maybe it wasn't open. Maybe it was just closed.
So
because it could be anything. It could be a dog's name tag, like they did in the Charlie's Angels 2 movie. Not the one starring Kristen Stewart, but the one that Mick G directed with Cameron Diaz and Drew Barrymore. Lucy Liu. Classic film. Anywho.
Cinema.
Yes,
Kelly.
It is a capital. Queen Kelly.
Yes. So let's just sum it up before we get to regionals and do all the songs they did. Emma and Will get married at the end. Because Emma shows up to the regionals in white, and Emma's like, oh, I'm nervous. And Santana is like, it's because you're wearing white. And Emma slapped her, I wish.
We do not condone physical violence.
But on Glee. No,
they do, though.
So then at the end, they're like, let's get married. And she brings in a priest.
They come into the choir room. Everyone's celebrating because, spoiler alert, they won. Whatever, who cares? they're like, Emma's like, oh, like I was so nervous about the whole wedding shebang. I just wanted to get married. What does she say? In a room full of people
I care about.
that we care about. And I was like, this is super inappropriate to be doing this in front of your students, not in front of like your friends and family, because that's right, you don't have friends. You have friends who are children, unfortunately. Okay, that's uncomfy. And then they bring in this priest, and it's fine. It's whatever. Well, no, they have her wait outside because everyone's like, oh my God, are we having an emergency wedding? Oh my God. And she's waiting outside. She gets brought in, and they're like humming the bridal walk song. I don't know what it's called.
Here Comes the Bride.
Sure.
I don't think that's what it's called.
I think it actually might be.
Really?
I think it might be.
Oh.
But anyway, they're humming that, and it sounds horrible. But not as bad as when they were doing a cappella that Nelly song in season 1. Do you guys remember that? Ride with me.
Yeah.
So good. And then like someone's throwing petals or whatever, and she's in her dress. They're doing the thing. I don't even care what happens. But when the priest is like, the priest calls them Wemma.
It's canon.
Nope. No.
I can't believe that happened. But also, they do their own vows. Emma's, I don't remember what she said. Oh, no, she says that Will helps her feel clean and that her brain is free of sticky thoughts. I was like, what? And then.
Yeah, that was the weirdest vows I've ever heard.
But then, like, freaking Will, because I don't know if, like, what part this was, but he's like, I remember and notice everything about you. It's like, no, you don't, you fucking liar.
Guys, it's called the Wedding March. It's not Here Comes the Bride.
But the lyrics that people sing is like, here comes the bride, all dressed in white.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there weren't any lyrics at the time that it was written.
Absolutely not. But anyway, but then my next line that I have in my notes is, I hope Terry comes in and ruins it. Because that would have been, and if she like came in and she was like, Will, I'm finally pregnant with your child, and that was the
Oh
that
my God.
was the cliffhanger. Oh, that would be terrific.
And then the season 5 opened with Terry singing "Dangerous Woman" by Ariana Grande.
Yes.
As she like goes through Will's apartment and like burns shit. Yes. Okay. So that's the storylines, but let's talk about Gleeginals.
Yeah.
The Waffle Toots sing "Rainbow Connection." Classic
Is it a song about dreams?
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention to it, so.
It's literally a song about dreams. Yeah.
Cool.
But like,
they passed the test.
Dreams that you dream like when sleeping dreams?
No, like dreams.
Aspiration dreams.
Aspiration dreams. Okay.
Dream is wish your heart makes kind of dreams. And then let's think if these have to do with dreams. Frida Romero and the Who's Your Daddies thing, Clarity. Love that song. These Wings Were Made to Fly, another great song. Great performance overall. Those weird male dancers at the beginning made me uncomfortable.
I thought everyone's numbers sucked.
Honestly, the Who's Your
Daddies were better.
Yeah, the Who's Your Daddies deserve to win.
Yeah.
They should have won
That
because they were better.
contortionist had been paid off.
Yeah.
Will offered her like $30 at Breadsticks or something.
And then I liked the performances this week.
Oh, Cullen. Hottest take. You are on fire.
So the Glee Club does our New Directions.
New Directions.
Does Hall of Fame. And then they do Icona Pop's I Love It. But they have to like edit the song so much. It's like, why did you the song?
But it's not as bad as Higher Than Any Other. It featured sugar quite a bit for some reason. It's not about dreams.
Yeah, unless your dream is revenge.
I really hated that song when they were singing. It was bad.
I did too. It was not. No, their choreography was garbo.
Yeah.
It's so repetitive. Like it was.
Well, because they didn't even do the chorus.
All they did was-
just did the or a verse. They just did the chorus twice.
No,
All
and
they
it
did was walk
bad,
around.
Like, gross. It was.
Yeah, they did the.
ucky.
I think they did. Yeah, no, it was just the chorus. They didn't even do a bridge or anything.
Yeah.
That's horrible. Anyway, but yeah, like.
Yeah, Sugar is like featured like pounding on her chest.
What happened with Zach Woodley this week that he just like let this happen? Was he just like tired? He's like, this is end of season 4. I have like a concert to go choreograph in like 5 minutes. We'll do this. We'll walk around, do some twirls. Boom.
Maybe
That's
was
what
sick.
I think happened. Maybe he was sick. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, during Hall of Fame, Joe has a solo. Sugar pounds on her chest. They're just featured so prominently. We're like,
It's like it makes their absence for 15 weeks so obvious. Obviously, they weren't gone that long, but it was probably like 5 or 6 weeks.
it was Sadie Hawkins.
Sugar wasn't in the school shooter episode, was she?
No.
No.
So yeah, no, it was Sadie Hawkins. Oh my God.
Yeah. And then they sang Marley's original song, All or Nothing.
Which is not the O-Town Bop ballad.
I will have a hot take. I like this Marley original.
I don't like it, but I definitely think it's way better than the others. It's better than
way
You Have
better.
More Friends Than You Know. It's better than
Outcast.
Outcast.
Does anyone remember how it goes though? I'm drawing a blank.
This
or
one?
nothing.
All or
nothing.
nothing at all.
It's
not ringing a
Alyssa.
bell.
Just keep it that way. It like the all or nothing, like all or nothing, like that riff has been stuck in my head for the past couple days, but it's because that specific riff is catchy. I don't remember anything else about the song except that Marley and Blaine were singing it, and it wasn't very good, but I was like, oh, this is at least better. Does it deserve the title of the episode? No, it doesn't. Would I have preferred if they did the O-Town Slapper? It's not every 6 seconds. Oh God, what is it called? Because that song is about dreams.
I don't know why, but I was like, they should have done Check Yes, Juliet.
I mean,
What?
yeah.
I could see
Liquid
Blaine singing
Dreams.
that.
They should have sung Liquid Dreams. That would have been better. Anyway. Oh my God. They started in Orlando, Florida. I'm so sorry for O-Town. That's why they're called O-Town. Oh my God. That took way too long. That's horrible that they're named after Disney World's. Well, is Disney World Orlando, or is it technically
Paradise
something?
or
I actually think it's in Celebration, technically.
yeah, Celebration, yeah.
So wow. Okay. Anywho. What were we talking about? This episode sucked. They win for some reason. The Hoosier Daddies did way better. So much better.
It would have been more interesting if they were like, maybe this was a building year.
A what?
Like a building year, like sports have building years where they like you're building a new team. Like you have a big successful team and then people leave and you have to kind of build up your team.
Oh, I didn't know there was a name for that.
I didn't know that was a thing that existed. I guess it makes sense.
The only reason I know like that sports have to do this is because I watch too many anime where sports teams have to build
I remember
up.
you talking about this during
that was called a building year.
During the only sports episode, or one of the only sports episodes in the series.
The Sue Sylvester show.
And that's what you brought to the table. And I was so impressed that like it came from anime. I was like, whoa, I had no idea. So yeah, that is like one of the funnest facts I know about you.
So before we get into Tina Time, season 4. we'll talk about it in total in the ballot episode. Fill out your ballots. You'll have some extra time because we're going to do a holiday special.
You're welcome. But I have a feeling that the holiday special is going to go down way easier than this episode
I hope
did.
so. I might drink some spiked eggnog.
I will not, because I don't like eggnog.
Spiced rum, maybe.
Spiced rum.
That sounds pretty good. That's like a good holiday drink.
Just spiced rum, like over ice.
Well, like warm spiced rum, like the kind that you put it on the stove and you actually make it.
I'll have to try that. I didn't know that.
It's yummy.
Oh. So yeah, what did you want to say, Cullen?
Right now, I think I'm still sticking with season 2 as the best season.
Oh, Cullen, it's been so long. I don't even remember.
I think I'm going season 2, then season 1, then season 3, then 4. Think about it.
Yeah.
I think 2, 1, 4, 3, actually.
Oh,
you think
interesting.
4 was better than 3?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
But I don't know why.
3 had a lot of filler.
So
3
did this
was very
season,
filler, and it had some like really like offensive episodes.
Oh, like when Quinn was trying to get her baby back?
Yeah, just like some really bad storylines, offensive episodes.
Wait,
like
season 3 was the Quinn Shelby baby battle?
Yeah.
What? Oh my god.
This one had some not great storylines either, like looking at you, shooting star. But if you, I'm thinking 2, 1, 4, 3.
I see them as totally different shows, which is what sucks. Because I literally was like, oh yeah, season 2 is gonna happen. But I'll have to think about it. But I probably will agree that season 2 was the best.
Yeah. Peak Glee.
Yeah. It kind of was. And that
had the Rocky Horror Glee show in it. High highs, low lows.
Yeah.
What's interesting, maybe that's what makes it so beautiful. What's interesting though is that like Glee season 1, the pilot, so different from the rest of the show. Like that's like a whole other show. There's like 3 shows in this show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably more once we get to the end.
We're gonna be like, we're on season 5 or the show 15 out of one whole show.
There's gonna be a Muppet episode. I'm so excited.
I kind of wish that Glee had been made in the UK because it would only be 20 episodes of a whole series over 12 years.
But they'd be calling each other like the C word all the time.
That's fine. I think that would make it better, honestly.
Like, you come to 96 of Katy Perry.
Oh. What is your accent?
That was the best British question mark.
Katy Perry.
I feel like you're that member of Little Mix who doesn't know how to do a Jamaican accent. I have mastered that because I've watched it 1,000 times. Anyway, what are we talking about
now?
It's Tina time.
Hashtag Glee hates girls.
How many lines did Tina have, guys?
I remember counting 2.
I think I have 3 written down.
Because she talked in the jewelry store, and that's kind of it, right?
Yeah.
The problem was that by the time that I was counting her lines and then realized that I needed to start counting her lines in a different episode. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. MVPs and LVPs. I'm gonna have a caveat just to make things more interesting. It can't be the Piccolo lady.
Oh, I didn't even pick her, but
who's your LVP?
This kind of goes better when I do the MVP to LVP, but I guess we're gonna say LVP is everyone except the lesbian couple.
Okay. Everyone.
Because I literally wrote everyone else, I guess. Because I didn't know. No, you know what? The priest. The priest called them Wemma.
I think I'm gonna go with Ryder for having a freaking toddler like temper tantrum.
Yeah.
You can't do that when you're 6'4".
Yeah.
I don't know if that's how tall he is, but
you also just can't do that. That's just not appropriate or safe.
Nope. Yeah, no, it's not.
I wanted someone to get hurt, and that person would be Tina because she was busy playing Flappy Bird while this was happening. Tina has Flappy Bird energy is my favorite quote from our Lights Out episode. So I think my LVP is it I thought maybe the lesbian couple for kind of inserting themselves in.
That's the best part.
But I think I'm going. Is it Will for not stopping Ryder from a tantrum? No, it is Rachel for doing. Like sometimes the LVP is the person who carries the least weight in the episode, and that was Rachel. Rachel contributed nothing but a boring Celine Dion song.
Yeah, and she cried after she basically like had a hallucination on stage in her first audition. So
it would be better if it was like she was playing like Juana La Loca the musical, and then be like, "This woman has range. This woman can display emotions that make no sense." Juana La Loca on Broadway.
Rachel is going up against Sutton Foster, apparently. So like, let's remember that.
And smashes Meryl Streep's daughter.
Oh yes, Mimi Gummer.
All right, Hannah, who's your MVP? Is it the lesbian couple?
I went with the lesbian couple because honestly, I enjoyed their scenes because it was like it wasn't anything that had anything to do with the actual story.
It was like they were plopped in from a totally different show.
Yeah.
I think my MVP is the girl on in the Hoosier
Frida
Daddies.
Romero.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
In my head, I just call her Sunshine Corazon.
Right.
Too.
Valid, honestly.
But
still
she has
a powerhouse
the same
voice.
vocal cords.
Yeah.
Like, girl
For
can
sure.
sing. And I picked her because she doesn't have a storyline, but she shines brighter than anyone else in this episode.
She's way more interesting than everyone in this episode, honestly. And I know nothing about her.
It's hard. Part of me wants to go with Sam because I like him. He's like, you want to do me. Part of me wants to go with Tina for having realistic life expectations, but I think I'm going with Marley. For standing up for the team, for trying to save Tina from getting injured while playing Flappy Bird.
She almost became a martyr.
Yeah.
Like a literal martyr.
Because Kitty was like, there was about to be murder.
Yeah. So good for her.
And she stood up for Unique.
Yeah. And she was like, don't punish the team.
And she kept Unique secret.
Yeah.
And seemed to not judge her. We don't really know Marley's like reaction to it, but she just kind of like, I don't know. She just kind of was like, okay, I keep your secret forever.
Which again, that's I guess Marley and Unique is one of the strongest friendships on Glee.
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I ship that friendship.
A friendship.
Yeah.
That's like a legit friendship, actually.
Yeah. All right. So music. We have Celine Dion snoring. Okay, what is that song called? Pulling up on the Glee wiki.
Not Your Heart Will Go On.
Unreleased songs, My Cup.
Yes.
Song title, To Love You More. We have Rainbow Connection, Clarity, Wings, Hall of Fame, I Love It, and All or Nothing.
Nope, you're gonna have to say them again.
To Love You More. Rainbow
That's Rachel.
Connection.
That's the Whiff and or Waffle Toots.
Clarity.
That's the Hoosier Daddies.
Wings.
Is that also Hoosier Daddies?
Yes. Hall of Fame.
That's Nude Erections.
I love it.
Nude Erections.
Oh, it's Icona Pop featuring Charlie XCX.
Okay, so I was half right.
Yeah. And All or Nothing, the Glee original.
Unfortunately, Nude Erections.
Hannah, what was your least favorite song?
Fun fact, I didn't go with the Marley song because I was like, you know what? I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt. At least it was better than the others. At least she got better. / the actual adults who wrote the songs were professional songwriters. Did not a great job on these, but at least did better on this. I actually went with Hall of Fame. I thought it was really boring. But I guess also so was I Love It.
I'm going with I Love It. I hated it. It was I
repetitive.
did not love it. It was not good. It was so repetitive and
that
just
song is kind of repetitive, but at least like the song, you're not watching teenagers just like walk around.
Yeah. And there's an interesting instrumental, and there's the person who sings it has an interesting voice. Like this was not a good choir song.
No, it's not a choir song.
No, it's
there
basically
is no
like choral
scream
version
singing.
that I would appreciate.
Yeah.
It's like when one of my old coworkers like, oh, you have a Glee podcast. Do you like choral music? I don't know how to unpack this. Yeah, so my least favorite was To Love You More because I was bored. There wasn't even Garbo choreography. It was just
at the top of the episode. Like,
way to start an episode off weak.
Like it was literally like in the first 5 minutes. It was so, and then she's just crying, and I was like, "This is not the Leah Michelle Squint singing I signed up for."
So, but what was your favorite song, Hannah?
I wrote whatever the Hoosier Daddies sang. So I guess Clarity, because I like Clarity. I think it's a good song. It's not really a Glee Club song or choral song, but you know what? I thought she sounded really good. I think I would listen to it on my Glee songs I actually like playlist.
I think I'm going with Clarity too. Mostly just because I remember liking the song that they sang first a lot, but I don't actually remember the song.
Yeah, I don't remember the second song either. It's like you said it and I was like, I don't remember what this sounds like. And I don't care to listen to it ever again.
My favorite is a tie.
Oh.
Between
like more than one song.
Between Hall of Fame.
Wow, hot take.
And All or Nothing.
Oh, Cullen. You know what? Good for you.
Phase where I listen to that song a lot.
I wish I had your ears.
Hall of Fame, I like how they were all teamed up, all the guys' voices. Yeah, I liked it. I Love It was a poor choice. They should have done, let me think of what song they should have done.
I still wanted to hear Sweet Dreams because that is a great song about dreams.
Sweet dreams are made of this.
Who would sing it? Unique?
Ooh, I like that idea. I like, yes. Maybe Unique and Marley. That would be cool because their voices actually go really well together.
Lonely One Last Kiss.
They are a power friendship. I love them. I can't believe we didn't even think of them. We were like joking, like, oh, there's no friends. They're like good friends.
Marnique.
What would be the
Marnique?
Yurley. We love Yurley. I like Marnique.
Yeah.
Me too.
Marnique is much better.
So that is the end of our episode. Tune in next week for our. Should we tell them what our Christmas special is going to be about?
You guys should definitely watch it so that you can listen along and be like, "Oh my god, yes, they're right," or "Oh my god, they're crazy people. This movie was amazing."
We are watching I love how Hannah assumes she's not going to like this movie.
Listen, it's a Glee podcast. I just am full of spite.
We are watching Santa Fake starring Damien McGinty and Heather Morris. Someone saw Damien McGinty put Snickers in her cat's litter box and was like, this chemistry is off the charts.
Yeah,
They
seriously.
need a Christmas movie.
Yeah, because so what's weird is like they technically live together in a house in the story of Glee, and now they're like, I'm assuming love interests. Okay, also, is he going to Santa Fe?
I think so, yeah.
So isn't that where Brittany's family was going?
Yes.
On Christmas vacation, they left him behind. So
Yeah.
is this an alternate universe of when they actually both get to go? But they're not like living in the same house? I love it. I don't care. I love it. You're welcome.
So it's on Amazon Prime and a few other places. So we're going to watch it and discuss it. And then after that, we will do our season 4 ballot. So please vote. It has some questions in it about the show, featuring my opinions heavily. So where can you find Gleeboot on social media?
You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. We are at Gleeboot Pod. You can also find us on Tumblr, gleebootpod.tumblr.com.
I have a YouTube video out about the Adele Peppa Pig feud. You can follow me on YouTube at your boy Ryan, and on Instagram and TikTok at your boy Ryan99.
And you can follow me on Instagram at a.m.swearingen.
So tune in next week for the holiday special.
Yay!
Bye.
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 Gleeboot.